Every now and again, I try to mix things up a little, whether it's a new tactical style, a new mentality, a new shape, whatever I can do to mix things up a bit. Today, it's a new tactical style. Haven't seen much from the Tiki Taka lately, so let's check it out. Getting right into the tactic, this is a custom Tiki Taka. It is called the 4-3-3 clinical passing. There is some information on the Steam Workshop. It's not a whole lot. It's not really kind of what you should do in certain situations. It's more how the guy created the tactic and why he created the tactic. It's just a little paragraph with an image. But we're going to try it on our three teams and see how it goes. As you can see, it is a standard 4-3-3. It is a positive mentality, custom Tiki Taka with a sweeper keeper in defend, two wingbacks on support, ball playing defender on the left, central defender on the right, a deep lying playmaker in the DM role, a central midfielder in attack, a carrilero in support, an inside forward in attack, an inverted winger in attack on the right, and an advanced forward up front. As you can see, there are some custom instructions on some of these, so he's gone into a little bit more depth than just giving each player a role. In possession, you can see attacking with it's fairly narrow, pass into space, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, low crosses, work the ball in the box, dribble less, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the fullbacks and the center backs, and then out of possession, high press line of engagement, standard defensive line, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, trigger press much more often, and stay on feet. Opposition instructions, as usual, we've got nothing. Table-wise, how do they do? As you can see, Wolves in 4th place, so that was a fantastic tactic for Wolves. Tottenham in 6th, so average. And then Newcastle in 9th. I'm going to say that's probably about average. They probably could have picked it up a little bit more, especially Newcastle with 52 points, where Brentford in 8th place on 53, Tottenham on 63. So I would say Newcastle, if you were able to get some good touches in there on some of these matches that we'll probably take a look at in just a minute, you probably could have brought it up maybe into 56, maybe pip Chelsea to that Conference League spot. I don't know. But Wolves with 73 points doing fairly well. All of it well off relegation, so I can't say negative things about this tactic at all. Overall, with Tottenham's schedule, it's really spotty. I mean, you got a couple of wins, then a couple of losses, and a couple of draws, and it's okay. You do have a fantastic run from this Newcastle match all the way down, I mean, even through the friendly season, to this Nottingham Forest match. So that's a fantastic run of about 3 months, with November not having much. But overall, I mean, second half of the season, you're continuing that run. You do lose to Wolves there, but you continue that run 8-0 over Hartlepool in the FA Cup third round, losing out to Wolves yet again in the EFL Cup quarter, so you drop out there. FA Cup fourth round, you do drop out against Manchester United. They just cannot beat Manchester United whatsoever. But continuing on in the Champions League until you get to Man City, 1-5 away from home, and then a 1-1 draw at home, and that's all you wrote. So unfortunately, not able to do it there in the Cups, but you've got a somewhat okay run. I mean, a bunch of draws, which is not great, but at least no losses. So it's not too bad of a run. But as we switch to Newcastle, you can see they have a much different look of a schedule. An absolutely horrific start to the season. 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, then 3 draws, then 3 wins. So you're picking it up at some point. But overall, I mean, you go back into the losses, the draws. 4-5 against Arsenal. What a high-scoring match that was. Second half of the season, though, you do pick it up. You got 4 wins in a row, followed by 2 draws, so not too bad. 4-all against Bournemouth. But you lose out in the 4th round against West Ham, the replay. Actually, EFL Cup, did you drop out? Yep, dropped out right at the start against Burnley. So you're out of all cups. A horrific February right there. Not a great March and start of April. But from that point on, all the way to the Liverpool match, where they always seem to falter 3-5 at the just final match of the season. But 6 wins in a row is a fantastic way to pick it up. Unfortunately, some of these wins, Man City. I mean, Man City is Man City. Arsenal, 0-0. That could have gone different ways. But 0-1 against Aston Villa. I mean, even this 4-5 against Arsenal, you put 4 into the back of the net against them away from home. You hopefully should have brought one at home, but oh well. And finishing out with Champions League headed Wolves, you can see they started out just bad, 1-2 against Everton, at home especially, but if you were taking charge of this, you probably may have hopefully been able to get one back on them. But a fantastic rest of August, a horrible September, a fantastic October, doing very well so far. I mean, spotty, but still a lot of good runs there. And then start out Man United 0-1 in the Premier League, 0-4 against Man City. EFL Cup semifinals, you lost out in 0-4 against Arsenal. Everton, there. I mean, you just can't beat Everton. What is with Everton? But you continue on and cruise through the quarter. The Watford in the fifth round, Chelsea in the quarters, Liverpool though 0-1 in the semis, and you're dropped out of the competitions. And I mean, overall, again, you have a lot of good runs, but overall spotty. I mean, your May is Manchester United loss, followed by a Bournemouth crushing, then Leeds loss, and Aston Villa Nottingham Forest win. So overall, not too bad. You're in fourth place. You're in Champions League spots. You got to be happy with that. Transfer wise, as you can see, they did pick up Cedric from Arsenal for 7 million. Now, Ruben Neves is not out in this one. However, João Moutinho is out to Milan on loan. But if you look at the transfer center, they rejected, or someone rejected, a 63 million going up to 78 million transfer request from Liverpool. Yet they'll take a 51 or a 53 from Real Madrid. So that's interesting to see. I mean, I guess they don't want to sell to Premier League rivals, but still, 63 million is well above what Real Madrid was paying in all the other tactics that we've seen so far. But here you can see Newcastle really spending the money. Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough, 3 million. Dominic Livakovic from Dynamo Zagreb for 12.5. Danjuma from Villarreal, 45 million. So they've spent some money. Unfortunately, they didn't get the returns for it. But Loris Karius out. No one out that we haven't seen before. Tottenham spending some money as well. Stefan de Vrij from Inter, 6.5. Joseph Schutalo from Dynamo Zagreb, 31.5. And then Herving Lozano again from Napoli, 12.25. And no one really out that we haven't seen before. Fagan Walcott for 235K. But now one person in the comments had mentioned that they would like to see the squads for each. So I'm just going to quickly cycle through each. I'm not going to really talk about it. But as you can see, this is Tottenham doing okay. They didn't really have a lot in the green. Feel free to pause it wherever you want to see. If you see certain players that you want to see, Ryan Sessegnon, Ben Davies, sorry. But I'm just going to quickly cycle through these just to show you what they look like and how they turned out. Some fantastic players for Newcastle. Unfortunately, the last 5 were a lot better than the rest of the season. 8-0 for Javi Manquillo. That's interesting to see. I keep forgetting he's on that squad. And then Wolves squad, as you can see, a lot of nice green to see. It's 746 for Raul Jimenez. I'm sure we'll see his name coming up at the end of the show. Stats-wise, in the Premier League, most goals, Man City, duh. Wolves in third with 83. Newcastle and Tottenham in fifth and sixth, 74 and 71 apiece. Fewest shots against, no one. Most possession, doesn't matter. Most dribbles made. I mean, really, no one. Not even a shutout. Most tackles, one? Nope. There we go. Most shots for Newcastle, Wolves, and Tottenham, 626 all the way down to 551. And most points, Wolves and Tottenham in fourth and sixth. And then if we hit the player overviews, most goals, Erling Haaland with 41, Jimenez with 34, Kane with 30. So Kane did a very fantastic job this time around. And Alexander Isak with 22. So most assists, Phil Foden up there, Son with 12, Geddes with 11, and St. Maximin with 11 as well. Most player of the match awards, Raul Jimenez with 9, Alexander Isak with 6. Most key passes, there you go, Son with 104. Most shots, Isaac with 135, Raul Jimenez with 117, and Kane with 113. So finally, for the player stats for each individual team for all competitions, Raul Jimenez with a whopping 44 goals. That is probably the highest goal total I have seen in a long time, if ever, for Wolves in their, the tactics we've been doing. But Raul Jimenez with 746, told you we'd see his name again. Pedro Neto with 19 assists, and then Raul Jimenez with 12 player of the match awards. Tottenham next, Harry Kane with 45 goals in all comps. That is a nice total for him. Definitely one of the higher ones that we've seen. Highest average rating for Kane, 733. Most assists for Son, 16. And most player of the match awards, Harry Kane with 7. And then finishing out with 9th place Newcastle. Top goal scorer obviously is Isaac with 24. Average rating is 719 for Isaac. Most assists with 12 with St. Maximin. And then most player of the match awards, Isaac with 7. Overall, like I've said, it worked well for Wolves in 4th place. Tottenham about average in 6th. And then Newcastle in 9th. not really working all that well. I mean, I guess bang on average or maybe just a little bit below average. But again, if you take control of these clubs, you could probably do a heck of a lot better. Bring it up at least. I mean, Wolves is going to be hard pressed to get to 86, 88, and 98 right there. Minus Man City, Liverpool and Manchester United are very packed together very closely. So, but Tottenham may be picking, I don't know, to 70 for Arsenal, and then Newcastle should be able to get hopefully to Chelsea's spot if you are able to do the correct things in each match. But that is it for me in the 4-3-3 clinical passing tactic. I am Safian FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.